Comics these days are going from comics to movies to TV shows to novels to video games to comics based on video games to comics based on video games that were once a movie, eventually building up to being their own POG. I'm Phil in Toronto.
I'm Nick in New Jersey. Comics are making the transition to big and little screen more and more these days, and the anti-gravity room is right on top of things. Today we'll be checking out Sliders, Superman, and the Hulk.
And I'm Kevin, also in New Jersey, putting it between Nick's pipes. And what that means is I'm a director, I read comics, ergo I'm on this episode, and right now, everything's going according to plan.
Green Lagoon got his take 112. And action.
As you might have guessed, it's comic books on the screen this week on the Anti-Gravity Room. I'm Eugenie in LA.
Cut. Do it again.
Superman has been a cartoon, a comic book, a radio series, a musical, a movie, and it's going to be a cartoon once again with Superman, the animated series from Warner Brothers.
Of all the different properties that DC Comics and Warner Brothers own that we could develop for animated series, Superman is the most obvious one to do, just because of all the visual aspects of the series, the things we can do really well in animation versus the things that you can do in live action. Superman is made for cartoons. In some respects, the characters are so familiar from all the different versions of Superman that have been done, the movies, the TV series, the comics, the cartoons, that we really tried to strive to find a new take on the character, something that wasn't exactly like the movies and wasn't exactly like Lois and Clark. So Lois and Clark actually, they relate to each other a little bit more as unfriendly siblings rather than any kind of romantic relationship. Lois is very much a 90s woman. She's very career-minded and very hard-boiled crime reporter.
You sound too good to be true. What's your secret?
We've also depowered Superman a little bit. He's not as strong as he used to be. He's not as vulnerable, so when he has these huge, gargantuan fights, there's a sense that this guy can actually die.
Nice one, Clark.
When he lifts things now, there's a sense of weight to it, and there's a sense of struggle. And it makes just a better dramatic scene.
He's a very 90s, vulnerable Superman. A couple of new writers that we're trying out on the show are Evan Dorkin and his partner Sarah Dyer. Evan is very well known for a current comic book called Milk and Cheese, which is a very wild, riotous, out there type of comic book, and that's what first attracted me to him as a potential writer for the show. We were really looking for writers who could bring a nice modern spin onto Superman.
One of the challenges of the series has been to create a look for the series that would be as unique to Superman as the look of the Batman animated series was to Batman. A big aspect of that was the city of Metropolis. We didn't want it to look just exactly like New York, you know, so we kind of went a little bit more futuristic with it. It's much bigger than New York City. It's like, we keep saying the World Trade Center would be a small building in Metropolis. It's layers and layers and layers of city on top of each other, but at the same time, aesthetically, it's very pleasing. It doesn't feel like a big claustrophobic city. It's actually very uplifting and optimistic as opposed to the Batman Gotham City, which was all very dark and angular. Another big plus for me was the science fictional aspects of the series as opposed to Batman. We have a lot more giant robots and spaceships and battle scenes.
One of the things we wanted to do, especially in the early episodes, is play up the alien factor of Superman's nature. He does not stick around for praise if he saves someone. He's not a hands-on-the-hips type of, well...
Thank you, Commissioner. It's all in a day's work.
Yeah, none of that, none of that. In fact, at the beginning, he really doesn't even like the name Superman. It's a name that Lois Lane kind of christens him with in print, and he wonders how can I possibly live up to that?
He's a Superman for the millennium.
And beyond.
And beyond.
And beyond.
You people have exhibited as much talent as our next guest.
Yeah, Nick's got a point. I mean, I've been in film for a couple of years now. Rarely have I seen such, fiery energy in a guy with just a personality to die for.
You haven't already guessed who this multi-talented individual is. It's the Ultimate Warrior.
All right, I'm here with the Warrior. How you doing, brother?
Hey, Phil. Thanks a lot, man. Thanks for having me today.
So tell me a bit about the comic book. This is a new thing for you, eh?
Yeah, it has. Actually, not so new. We worked on the first issue for about 8 months, but the whole project is new in this evolution of what has come to be the warrior outside the ring, or how I live my life.
Now, I was looking through the book, and it seems like the character of the warrior uses his head more than his muscles, you know?
Yeah, you know, the attraction to the Ultimate Warrior thing is and always has been, is his level of intensity. The Ultimate Warrior character is the guy, somebody has already crossed his line, he explodes.
The comic book, compared to how important it is to you, compared to the wrestling, say?
The comic book is more important to me. One of the disciplines of living your life in the way of a warrior, and I call it destrucity. It's about making a truce between your destiny and your reality.
All right, Warrior, tell me about the comic book. The art or writing?
James Callahan does the artwork on it, man, and like I said, we worked on #1 for 8 months, and one of the reasons was finding an artist that grasped it, because a comic book can be told without even words. A good comic book artist can tell a story just with the pictures. You don't even have to have words. I've been talking comic book my whole career as the Ultimate Warrior, you know, as I do my interviews and stuff like that. So it was really not that difficult to move it into a comic book form, you know.
I'm going to challenge the Warrior, and I'm going to say some Warrior-type advice in under 10 seconds.
Okay.
Right there.
Warrior-type advice. The most important message I can give to anybody is to follow your intuition. It's the same thing in everything anybody does in life. It's longer than 10 seconds.
Yeah, if you keep it going, it's good.
You know, I believe in what I'm doing. I'm going to go for it. I don't care if I never make a dime. Being passive within yourself, but if anybody crosses your line, get aggressive about defending it.
All right, well, you lost the challenge, but we got some
hey,
great
brother,
words from
I
the
appreciate
Warrior.
it.
All right.
I couldn't have done it in 10 seconds, man.
I know, that's why I asked.
I couldn't even beat Andre the Giant in 10 seconds.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Comicopia, my weekly review of comic books. We're coming to you from the Broadway Diner with Kevin. Now, first up, we have Crow City of Angels #2. This is a comic book adaptation of a movie adaptation of a comic. Kevin, what'd you think of this?
As far as comic adaptations go of movies, usually they use very straightforward artwork, looks like it, but if you look in the inside of this book, it's not. It's kind of different. It's kind of stylish. I like that. As far as the story, you know, it's kind of been there before, although there are some interesting picks.
Well, you know, I liked it, but I'd like to see it in black and white even more. That's the way that Crow was done originally. So I have to give this like 3 out of 5 Gs on the anti-gravity scale. All right, next up we got Ash #0. Now, this book has gotten lots of acclaim from the comic world. Now they're doing a movie deal with DreamWorks. It's going to be an animated film. What'd you think of this, Kevin?
Ash Book 0 is kind of a predecessor to Ash 1, of course, and it tells the story of kind of where Ashley's powers came from, and it involves the future Ash, if you will. The great thing about this book, beautiful, beautiful art by the boys, and not only that, but the artists are also the writers, and Jimmy and Joe can write. It's a very classically woven tale. It weaves in a bit of normalcy in terms of, like, they take a fireman who is a heroic character in real life and make him into a superhero. For that alone, they deserve all the acclaim. Beautiful book, give it 4.5 Gs.
It's an all-around great book. It's got, like, image-style art, but at the same time, like you said, great story. I'd have to give it 4 Gs. Next up, we've got the comic epic Kingdom Come. This is 404, the end of the whole series. What do you think of this, Kevin?
Well, Kingdom Come, I mean, it has to be reviewed on 2 levels. Now, of course, the artwork is gorgeous. It's Alex Ross artwork. There's tons of mad cameos from former DC Universe people and just all sorts of comic tie-in stuff. You can't get better than this art, man. He's a mad genius. The writing, however, they tried to cram a lot of story into 4 issues. They should have tried for a maxi series, but instead they chose to do it in 4 bookshelf format books. I'd give the art, man, 5 Gs, maybe I'd go 6 Gs.
Hey.
I'd lift to 6 Gs for the art. Story, I'd give 3 Gs.
Well, this was a great book. I mean, it's an all-around awesome book. The coolest part about it, though, Kevin, is that Alex Ross drew me in.
Get out of here.
No, serious? Oh, wait. No, that's what he was supposed to do. In that case, I have to give this book 0 out of 5 Gs on the anti-gravity scale. Well, okay, I'll be nice, but I'm only giving it 4.9. That's it for Comicopia this week. See you next time.